Go to bed? Or one more game? Oh man. Well, it didn't say that I can't make a video first. Alrighty, time for a new video. An apex theory. Man, did not expect that. The second Apex Legends theory. This time we'll be discussing what I like to call the respawning paradox in Apex Legends, except for nobody calls it that. Moving on. Respawn, the developers of Apex, tied its own noose lore-wise, and it has to do with Apex's lore and the legends dying and coming back to life in every game. Moving on, in case you are light on the lore of Apex Legends, the game in-universe is a bloodsport/arena battle to the death type game. It's broadcasted throughout the Outlands, a cluster of planets 600 years in the future. There's a lot of background info on this whole video in general, and this video made by DieHardGG. You should give it a watch, or at least a listen. It's a really great video, even if it's a little dated. The info is still valid though. Back on topic, the lore in Apex surrounding how the games function is all messed up right now. Just to list a few examples, it is confirmed that the contenders die in the games, but so far none of the playable legends have yet died in canon. Only faceless friends or other people. And we know that the legends are competing directly against each other thanks to trailers. But actually, I hear you say, respawning is a thing thanks to respawn beacons, and you'll be correct. However, this gets foggy when in canon we hear that people have died in the games. Especially since Mad Maggie was sentenced to death by the games.
Margaret Cohealy, you are hereby sentenced to death by combat.
We're gonna eat you alive, Salvo scum.
Gibraltar's whole reason for joining the games was that his friends were dying in the games and he wanted to protect them. Oh, and by the way, for your information, those are just the things I can name off the top of my head while writing this script. In this video, we will be discussing some fan theories, discussing the similar topic, and coming up with our own conclusion. Additional info. Before we truly get started, we gotta go over a few things. The legends treat death casually. It is mentioned in some of their voice lines. For example, there is an Octane voice line that mentions the respawn chamber, presumably implying that there is a place where they go to heal up. There is a crypto quip that is stated towards Mirage, where he says that if Mirage gets him killed, then he would kill Mirage later, presumably between games, and implying a respawn. Ballistic joined the games, presumably to make sure his son does not die in them, implying that there's no respawning, contradicting the voice lines in other canon material. Perhaps he joined the games not to keep his son safe physically, but mentally, to keep him from turning into Ballistic's younger self, cocky and ignorant. Anyways, it's time for our next segment. A quick YouTube search grants us these results. A video that addressing the same topic as we have discussed, where the theory states that the Apex Legends in canon could be a WWE type event where nobody truly dies, and it's all just a show put on for the money. The theory is a bit dated, and new lore has proved this theory wrong. But at the time of release, this was a decent theory. However, a big piece of evidence against it was available at the time, which we know at the time, Cuban Blisk started a game to repopulate his mercenary group. So why would he repopulate his mercenary group with fake actors? Anyways, moving to the present, new lore has been added that, as mentioned earlier, confirms that people die in the games, so it can't just be a show. And need I remind you, Mad Maggie was sentenced to death by the games. The next fan theory requires a little bit more digging, and by a little bit more, I mean a quick Google search. A quick Google search for Apex Legends death theory comes up with these results. A Reddit post. The Reddit post goes on to say that at the time of death or near death, they are transported to their death box and saved in cryosleep and healed or cloned. Right now, there's no way of confirming or denying this in lore. However, in-game, when someone dies, we can clearly see their body is separate from their death box, which proves this and a similar theory wrong. A commenter on the same forum restates an old post of theirs that explains their theory that the popular legends and good legends are revived and the newbies aren't, and the popular legends are the ones we play as, theory being true. And it would explain a lot about the lore. Another theory says that the Apex Legends is a simulation, and we know from Titanfall that VR in their universe is really accurate. However, we know this to be incorrect, because in the Season 3 trailer, we see them moving to, physically moving to the new game. And why would there be a dropship if it's a simulation? This is the part of the video where I come up with my own theory, own conclusion. However, after hours of trying, I just couldn't. At first I thought the legends could be robots, and it's simulated, but not like a full-on simulation like the previous theory we discussed. Basically, this would, account for a lot of, the holes in Apex Legends' lore, because when the robot dies, it'll just eject, a box that will inflate and contain a, memory/programming card. The teammate takes the programming card and shoves it into the respawn beacon, and boom, out comes the new robot with the programming card. This will also explain why robots like Pathfinder, Revenant, and Ash have a heartbeat on Sierra's heartbeat thing. It's not an actual heartbeat, it's just a simulated one. This will also explain, basically all of the holes in game would be explained by this. But there's one tiny problem. Death in lore is confirmed to happen in the games. And basically, what if that's only for the bottom? What if the mainstay legends are just all robots and they don't die? That'll explain a lot. However, Ballistic's son qualified for the mainstay legends. However, Ballistic still feared his son would die. So that is out the window. Goodbye, robot theory. Then I tried to circle back to that one theory that was on a Reddit thing, where basically the legends up top were resurrected while the unpopular legends stayed dead. This makes a lot of sense. However, this contradicts Ballistic's lore. Ballistic joined the games to protect his son, who qualified for the mainstay legends. Again, he didn't want his son to die. So, it's all confusing. Right now, there's just too many contradicting, lore in canon. Too many contradicting evidence to really come up with a proper theory that satisfies this. And